Welcome back. For this week's Vibrant Living segment, I'm joined by Caroline and David from our sponsors at Woods Oviatt Gilman with tips on managing your estate plan. Welcome, you two. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Well, Kim, let's talk about your roles first at Woods Oviatt Gilman and the work that you're able to do with your clients.
Sure. David and I are with Woods Oviatt Gilman. It's a full-service law firm located here in downtown Buffalo, with offices also in Rochester and Albany. We're with the Trust and Estates Department, which handles what you would expect, trust and estate administration, estate planning, but we also handle elder law and long-term care planning and more.
Nice. Okay. Well, last time you were here, we got into comprehensive estate plans. So just remind us of some of those common misconceptions you encounter when it comes to estate planning.
Sure. First, often people think that it's only for the wealthy, but it's really for everyone. Everyone needs a basic estate plan. A basic estate plan involves having a will, power of attorney, and healthcare proxy form. Additionally, some people think that you're too old. You can be too old, or you can be too late to work on estate planning or asset protection, and it's almost never too late.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing we hear sometimes is some of our clients say, hey, my son or daughter just turned 18, off to college. Do they need legal documents? And even if you have not accumulated much wealth, you should have a healthcare proxy and a power of attorney. And once you turn 18, you are a legal adult and you can sign those legal documents.
Okay. Well, what should young couples with children be made aware of if they do not have an estate plan?
Sure. Often they're very surprised in knowing that the default rule, the New York State's default rule if you don't have a will, is that the surviving spouse inherits $50,000 and then splits the remainder of the estate with your children. So if you have minor children, that's often not what you would want to do. You would think that you would want to have your surviving spouse handle all of the financial matters, and then not be in joint control with surrogate's court till your children turn 18. And then on top of that, if you don't choose who the guardian of your minor children are, if both you and your spouse pass away, the court chooses.
And oftentimes, Chelsea, young couples have life insurance, and there's beneficiary forms to fill out for the life insurance with the life insurance company. So it's very important to cross-reference perhaps trusts that are set up under the will for the children's benefit, to make sure that the money is not held by the court until the child turns 18, and then a windfall comes to the child at age 18. So in order to avoid that, you want to be proactive and take control and do your estate plan.
Alrighty, okay. And that's what this is, right? This is being proactive to, one, relieve stress from your family,
Absolutely.
And two, to make sure that your wishes are being met.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about how it works when someone reaches out to you to work with you on their estate planning and what people can expect.
Sure. So the first step is just reaching out, calling, emailing. Typically, we set up an initial meeting. And in today's day and age, it's not uncommon for us to do remote video meetings if it's more convenient for the client. Or even better, they come in and meet with us face-to-face. So once we set up the first meeting, we get to know them, learn about their goals and objectives. We walk them through the process. Then we draft the documents, send them the documents to read so they can digest it. They can see it. They can think about questions they might not have otherwise thought of, and then reach back out to us to set up a meeting to sign it and make it official.
There's multiple touch points. You can ask questions. We're very approachable. We're responsive. So if you have a question after you receive drafts, we can change things. We answer questions. We want to educate you to know what the documents are for, to know what you have and know how to use them as well.
Let's talk about common mistakes people make when it comes to estate planning.
Yeah, well, Caroline alluded to one earlier, just thinking it's too late, or I'm too old, or I'm too young. That's certainly one of them. Also, life changes. So if you are getting married or have the wonderful gift of a new child, or sadly a divorce, those are all reasons to revisit the estate plan. And sometimes people think, I did it 25 years ago, I'm all set. And in fact, you should be looking at it every so often and revisiting it. The other thing is, I mentioned life insurance earlier. If you have an IRA or 401k or life insurance, those pass by beneficiary designation, which means there's a form on file with a company that has that asset. And that asset passes based on what that form says, not what's in your will. So making sure that the will and the beneficiary forms work in concert is something that is sometimes overlooked. So.
An additional thing that you have to keep in mind is your beneficiaries might have a disability that they didn't have when you first started your estate planning. So you have to do disability planning for the beneficiary to make sure that they don't lose their benefits based on the gift that you want to give them. And another thing people often make mistakes with is who they choose for the roles of executor or trustee or healthcare proxy or power of attorney. They sometimes pick someone they like, but these are all jobs, and there's different skill sets that are needed for these jobs.
Well, you guys have made this very comprehensive and easy with a podcast for anyone that has more questions about these topics. Can you tell our viewers where they can go to get that information?
Oh, yes, we're very excited. It's called Into the Woods. It's on all of your typical podcasting platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. We just released the first episode about 2 weeks ago, and there's going to be another one coming next week, and we're going to release them pretty regularly thereafter.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing more. Viewers, if you'd like to hear more about our sponsors at Woods Oviatt Gilman and how they can help you, just visit their website, woodsoviatt.com, or stream their podcast, Into the Woods. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you,
Thank you, Chelsea.